just blows my mind, what's crazy about salespeople, is that most salespeople think they're losing deals because of the price, the competition, bad timing. But the real reason is you're accidentally triggering psychological defense mechanisms. These make your prospects run away from you, and you have no idea that you're doing it. See, today I'm breaking down the 3 biggest psychological mistakes salespeople make based on Robert Cialdini's famous book, Influence. See, you fix these 3 things and watch your close rates jump overnight. I'm Daryl Slay, and this is Slaying Sales. Let me talk to you about Marcus. See, 6 months into sales, still learning the product, still fumbling objections, Marcus was closing deals most people couldn't touch. Prospects who told other people no were saying yes to him. So I was confused and a little bit of annoyed trying to figure this out. This guy barely knew the product. How was he outselling most of the rest of the team? So I watched him. I finally saw it. When prospects said, that's too expensive, Marcus didn't argue. He said, I totally get it. Tell me more about your budget constraints. When they said, we're happy with our current solution, he didn't list the superior features of the product. He said, that's great. What do you like most about it? He was doing the exact opposite of everything that these other guys were trained to do. That's when, I realized that it came from influence. I realized losing deals wasn't because of price or competition. They were losing deals because psychologically they were pushing the prospects away with every word that they said. Here's what you need to understand. We don't make decisions logically. We make them emotionally. Then we justify it with logic afterwards. See, Cialdini proved that humans operate on automatic triggers, mental shortcuts that help us make decisions quick. These are actually called heuristics, rules of thumb, mental shortcuts. But if you don't understand these triggers, you're accidentally activating the ones that make prospects reject you. See, think about the Avengers when they first assemble. They're all fighting each other. Tony Stark and Steve Rogers are defensive, protecting their turf. Your prospects are the same. Their default mode is defensive. Your job is to trigger cooperation, not defensiveness. So let's break it down. The 3 biggest mistakes and how to get them done, how to fix them. Mistake number 1, arguing with resistance instead of joining it. Here's what it looks like to your prospect. Your solution is too expensive. Salesperson, actually, when you look at the ROI, we're quite affordable. Let me show you the value. See, you've triggered psychological reactance. When you argue with somebody's concern, their brain interprets it as an attack. And even if your argument makes perfect sense, they're not going to listen. See, their automatic response is defend their position harder. Now they're committed to the idea that you're too expensive because they said it and you challenged them. I once watched a rep lose a $50,000 deal because he couldn't stop arguing. Prospect, I'm not sure our team will actually use this. Rep, we have a 94% adoption rate. Prospect, our team is different. We've tried tools before. Rep, those tools weren't built like ours is. We have dedicated support. You know what happened? Prospect ended up ghosting him. Why? Because the rep never acknowledged the concern, never said it was valid. Every response was like, you're wrong. And when you tell somebody they're wrong, they dig in to prove that they're right. Here's what he should have said. It's a completely valid concern. You've invested in tools that didn't stick before. I'd probably be skeptical as well. Tell me what happened last time. You see what changes? Instead of defending their skepticism, the prospect starts explaining the actual problem. Now you can have a real conversation. See, this is Cialdini's principle of liking. People like people who agree with them. When you join their concern instead of arguing, you signal, I'm on your side. The fix is simple. Agree first, then explore. That makes total sense. I'd be thinking the same thing. That's a really important to consider. Then ask, tell me more about that. What happened last time? What do you think you could have done better? What did you think you did well? By agreeing, you remove the need to defend. By asking them to elaborate, you get to the real concern. Now you're having a conversation, not a debate. See, conversations build trust. Debate creates rejection. Mistake number 2, leading with features instead of creating reciprocity. Here's how most sales calls start. Thanks for your time. Let me tell you about our product. We have feature A, B, C. We've worked with companies X, Y, Z. See, you just made the prospect feel sold to. Their walls went up because you took their valuable time without giving them anything of value in return. See, Cialdini's principle of reciprocity says humans are hardwired to return favors. So when somebody gives you value, we feel obligated to give it back. Reciprocity only works if you are the one to give first. See, most salespeople don't give. They just take. They're taking time, attention, and then they give back a sales pitch. That's not reciprocity. That's extraction. Here's what I used to do. Get on a call, launch into my pitch, show the platform, walk through the features. 30 minutes later, thanks, we'll think about it. Then you never hear back. What goes wrong in that situation? I never gave them anything of value. I just talked about myself and my company. I never taught them anything. Compare this to, I ask about their biggest challenge. They say lead response time, leads slipping through the cracks. I say, would it be helpful if I shared a framework of 3 or 4 of our clients used to cut response time in half, even before using our platform? I spend 10 minutes teaching them something that they can actually use today, or I teach them something about their business that they hadn't thought of before, whether they buy or not. Now I've given real value. I've demonstrated expertise, and I ask nothing in return. When I finally talk about our solution, they're leaning in. They want to hear more because I've proven already that I can help. See, that's reciprocity in action. The Avengers don't ask civilians to help fight aliens before proving they're heroes. They save people first. Then people trust them. Give before you ask. See, the fix, start every conversation by giving something of value. Tactical insight, a framework, an introduction, research data, a reframe, a commercial teaching. It has to be valuable, even if they never buy. Simple formula. First 10 minutes, ask questions and give valuable insights. Next 20 minutes, explore their current situation and show how others solve similar problems. Last 10 minutes, discuss if your solution fits. When you structure it this way, you're not just selling, you're helping. And people buy from people that help them. Mistake 3, you're creating pressure instead of scarcity. This kills deals more than anything else. It's fundamental misunderstanding of Cialdini's principle of scarcity. Here's what it looks like. Oh, special promotion ending Friday. You need to decide by then. I can only hold this slot until tomorrow. Limited time offer. Act now or miss out forever. See, you think you're creating urgency. You're actually just creating pressure. And pressure triggers resistance. See, here's the difference. Scarcity is a real constraint. We only take 3 new clients per quarter. We have 1 spot left open. Pressure is artificial urgency. Special pricing expires at midnight. Your brain knows the difference. When it detects pressure, it activates psychological reactance. Once again, your brain hates being told what to do. When pressured, your automatic response is just to resist. I learned this the hard way. I had a slow-moving prospect. I said, our pricing is going up next month. Lock in the current rate this week. The prospect immediately got cold, started asking for more time, raised new objections, wanted more stakeholders involved. The deal dragged 6 weeks and then it died. I created this false pressure and their brain responded by pulling away. Compare that to this. Different prospect, same situation. Instead of pressuring, I want to make sure you're aware of our onboarding schedule. We cap engagements at 5 per quarter to maintain the quality that all of our customers expect. We have 2 Q1 slots open, so if you're planning to start in Q1, we should lock it in soon. If Q2 works better, then it's totally fine. See, notice the difference? Real constraint, business reason, agency to choose. The prospect said Q1 would be ideal. Let's start the paperwork. See, no resistance, no objections, just a decision based on their need and my real constraints. In Endgame, Tony Stark is deciding whether to help the time heist. Nobody pressures him. They present the situation and let him choose. If they'd said, Tony, you have to do this or it's your fault, he would have said no. They gave him space. He chose to help because it was his choice. See, your prospects are the same. Give real information and let them choose. The fix? Replace pressure with honest information about real constraints. Instead of this offer expires today, say our pricing changes next quarter when our fiscal year starts. Just wanting you to be aware if timing matters to you. Instead of I can only hold this for 24 hours, say we're at capacity, for January starts. If that timeline matters, we should lock this in. Instead of you need to decide now. What timeline are you working with? I want to make sure our availability aligns with when you're ready. You're giving information. You're not applying pressure. Helping them plan, not forcing them to decide. Here's your action plan. For mistake 1, arguing with resistance this week, every time a prospect raises an objection, say, tell me more. Then listen. Don't prepare your counter argument. Actually listen. For mistake number 2, taking without giving, before your next 5 calls, prepare one valuable insight you can share that helps them even if they don't buy. Make it your goal to help them solve a problem in the first 15 minutes before talking about your solution at all. For mistake number 3, pressure instead of scarcity, audit your sales language. How many times do you use limited time, act now, special offer? How many times do you try to, if I could, would you? Replace artificial urgency with honest information about real constraints. List your actual constraints. When does pricing change? What's your real capacity? What are your actual timelines? Use these real constraints instead of manufactured urgency. Record your next 3 sales calls, then count. How many times did I argue instead of join? How many minutes giving value before asking? And how many times creating pressure instead of sharing real constraints? Then on your next 3 calls, apply those fixes. See, agree first, explore second, give value before asking, share real constraints, remove fake urgency, compare the results. You're gonna see the difference. These tactics are fundamental shifts in how you approach conversations. When you argue with resistance, you create conflict. When you take without giving, you create resentment. When you apply pressure, you create reactance. When you join concerns, give value first, and provide honest information, you create trust. And trust closes deals. If this helps you understand why deals fall apart, hit subscribe, because we're breaking down every principle from Cialdini's influence with real sales applications. I'm Daryl Slay, and this was Slaying Sales.